Hey guys, I'm Ash.
And I'm Pete.
We're two friends with a combo of 7 kids ranging from toddlers to 20s and 2 crazy husbands.
Our paths were not easy. With childhood battle wounds, divorce, second marriages and all, we somehow found each other. And together we talk real life, laugh, cry, and figure out how to survive the day.
Music is by Dustbowl Champion. To hear Dustbowl Champion's newest hits, search Dustbowl Champion on Spotify. Hey guys, it's Ash and Pete.
Hey, welcome to the Sexy Voice Pete.
Oh my goodness, you guys are so excited that Pete sounds this way.
Oh yeah,
Like,
lost my voice totally.
If there was ever a time to start like a sex talk line for Pete, it'd be now. Unfortunately, do they really have those anymore?
I have no idea.
I mean, I know you probably weren't frequenting them a lot before, but
I feel like though, if you're into that, you must like girls with like mucus in your throat, because I feel like that's all. It's like it's almost like I just need to have a good loogie come out. Yeah,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's so funny. But I mean, anytime, I typically lose my voice at least once a year, and everyone always says that. So why do we have this perception that this is like a sexy voice? Is it because your voice is like a lower tone?
Maybe it's relaxing, soothing. To me, it's frustrating.
I always feel like I sound like a man.
Me too. Well, and then I have
don't sound like a man.
But then I have like these squeaky moments. It's getting a lot. I mean, today is like
oh my gosh,
it is really good.
Yeah, you guys, we are cutting it close as far as editing and all that goes.
Yes, we pushed our recording back like 4 days.
It is Tuesday night. It is going to be less than 12 hours before the episode goes out.
Well, we were so like wrapped up in 1, crazy schedules, 2, I lose my voice, and so for like 4 or 5 days we cannot record.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you said let's wait, because the last couple days, I mean, you sounded a bit better yesterday, but you still sounded horrible.
Yes. And I was like, it's actually probably better if I rest it one more night.
Yeah. And you were right.
And I'll say this is so I realize, I mean, I already know I yell a lot. But my kids don't listen unless I yell. I can say it. I can be like those, new moms that are like new age.
No.
Like Earth moms.
Do that.
No. No, we don't even say no.
Earth moms or crunchy moms?
Crunchy. That's what it is. Thing? Yeah, that's the word. That's the word I'm not hip with, crunchy. Try to be a crunchy mom to be like, we're gonna use positive vibes, and we're gonna say, no, thank you. I don't think that's a great idea.
I don't think I've ever told my kid no thank you unless they offered me something.
I have really tried to be like calm about things. And sometimes, every once in a while, it works. Very, very rarely. It takes me
down. The kids are on a whole nother level.
Danny, stop. Danny, you need to stop right now. That's not okay. Danny.
And the thing with Danny,
that's me yelling right now, because I seriously, and so the worst thing for me is not being able to yell when I need to yell, because my kids don't listen.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like hitting my husband. I'm like, hey, grab them.
No, they don't. They don't know. They don't. And with Danny, she you tell her no, and she looks at you and like smiles, like, you may do it again, right? Yeah. Like, this is fun. We're playing now.
Yeah.
She's so, I mean,
I feel like she doesn't give a shit.
She doesn't. She really doesn't. And
she's like, that's cute. And then all of a sudden she'll be like, okay, I'm sorry. And you're like, why did it take me like having like a freaking
mental breakdown?
Yeah, my vein just popped out in the middle of my forehead.
Yeah.
And then you finally are like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, no big deal.
Like,
she's gonna be the one that drives me crazy, because she's going to be the one that like gets over it like in a quickness.
Mhm.
But it's like you've made everyone else miserable, and then you're gonna act like, okay, I said I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like just because you're over it doesn't mean everyone else is.
We're not all okay.
And that is her personality. I see it now, my future. Oh God help me.
I know. I'm sorry. It really is. She's so flippin' cute though.
She is
That's
cute.
the
I think
worst
God made her
part is
extra
that-
cute because he knew.
But don't you think it's even harder? Like when they're so cute, it's hard to, I don't know, maybe because you're the parent, it's not. When I look at her, it's like, oh, she's so cute. Like I don't want to like get onto her, right?
No.
I mean, I know.
No, you know what it is? It's like when I said, like when she's like, I'm like so up to the top of my head. And then she's like, okay, sorry, mom. And then she does something that's like, she bats her eyes, or she does something sweet, or she gives me a hug. And I'm like, this is like the sweetest 2-year-old. She's just.
Yeah.
But I'm like, a minute ago, you were a monster and you didn't listen to me. I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, she is, I would say she's more part monster, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But she's so flipping cute.
Yeah.
She is.
Thank goodness.
We might have to put a picture of her as our photo for the podcast just so people can understand.
And
this is what you're struggling with.
This is what I struggle with. This is my little monster.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you? I lost my voice. There's yada yada. But what's going on with you?
You lost your voice. I didn't. So I just talk.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's going on with me. I'm feeling very old. Today I told this guy. So let me see if you know. Okay. So does Tristan ever say sus?
So my teenager doesn't really talk to me much. So
this is going to be difficult to get okay. So the kids say like, oh, that's sus. He's sus, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Never heard it.
So dang it.
My kid doesn't talk to me. She would, everything I say, I'm like the dumbest person in the entire world.
Yeah.
So she tries not to talk to me.
She doesn't seem to like me as much either anymore. I have to say.
Yeah.
She does, like, I'll be like, can I give you a hug? And she's like, no. And I know she's just playing, but normally when she would just come and give me a hug.
Yeah.
I never had to ask for a hug.
Yeah.
And like, or she's going to bed and she'll give you a hug. And I'm like, but where's mine? Like
monster.
Yeah,
hormones.
I know. I don't know I feel bad for you because there's a lot of that going on in the house.
Yeah. That's my big monster.
Yeah.
That's the monster that like would eat me.
Yeah.
If she could.
Yeah, she would for sure. But back to sus. So at work today, one of my coworkers, he was working mine, and I said, hey, I was like, you look, as the kids would say, sus. Or I said, you seem a little sus, whatever. You seem a little, as the kids would say, sus. And he goes, what does that mean? And I go, and I look at Brooklyn and I'm like, she's 19, right? She knows. So I'm like, what does it mean? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, anyone help me? And I was like, well, I assume, what do you think it means?
Suspicious.
That's exactly what I said. I said, I assume it means you look suspicious.
Yeah, like you're up to something.
Yeah,
you
right?
look a little mischievous there. I don't know what's going on.
And so I said, I guess it's like when you tell your kids, if you don't know what it means, don't say it. I know it doesn't mean anything.
You just
horrific,
call them some terrible name.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. But I was like, geez, now I feel so old because then that's what I was just doing on my phone when you're probably like, what are you doing? I was having to go to Urban Dictionary to figure out what sus means.
You didn't do it when you were there at the office with everyone?
No, because squirrel. So it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to go on, but then there was a lot of back and forth conversation and then topic changed. So, I was over it. But my coworker, who is slightly older than Brooklyn, said it's suspect. And that's what, like, 2 people were like, it's suspect. And I was like, not suspicious. Like, I feel like they normally say it. It sounds like, oh, that person's being suspicious. But I mean, I guess you could say they're being suspect. Like, that's not the word I would use.
Yeah.
But Urban Dictionary option 1 was, it's the word you use when you can't spell suspicious. And then it does reference suspect.
Okay.
So I don't know. It says stuff about suspicious and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know about these trendy words.
I don't know either, but I'm going to go ahead and say, don't say them if you don't know.
I know.
Look at me. I forgot the word crunchy and I said earthy. Okay.
I feel like that's the same though. Like how suspect and suspicious.
Yeah.
Those are the same.
Yeah.
So is earthy and crunchy.
How are your monsters doing?
Oh gosh, Priscilla, I don't even want to get into it because I don't even know how to be a mom anymore. I don't. I am failing in life.
You're so stupid.
No,
what do you
I'm
mean?
not.
Why?
I'm not even joking. So my kids never want to go to school. They never want to go to school.
I think that's probably very typical in teenage boys.
But how do I just like stab them without murdering them? Because that's where I'm at this point. It's like Hayden is constantly trying to stay home. He missed the bus.
Oh, hell no.
Okay. And then I say walk. Okay. And here's the thing. I'm glad he doesn't listen to us anymore because I really am pissed. So I want him to walk. But then my anxiety starts coming into play. And I'm like, that's a lot of field. Yeah. That's a lot of field and country road.
Right.
And
it's not like it's me. It's not like it's me right here.
Yeah, it's not just sidewalk. Like, I mean, walk to Fancher, like, like he could do that. If we lived here, whatever. But I'm like, that's a lot of like no sidewalk, like a lot of country. And what if he gets hit?
I'm going to say this to you. One thing I'll say is you got one more year. Jax has to help that, right?
Except
Jax is acting like that now.
Week, he's like Hayden Jr.
Oh, hell no.
And he's like, thank goodness nobody's going to report me to the school. But he's like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. And he sounds like shit. And I don't know, maybe it's something in the air that's making you like this.
Yeah.
But
everyone has been telling me the air is bad. I didn't notice it.
It did look like all weekend. And I ran really bad.
And I ran Friday, and then Sunday morning or Saturday morning they woke up.
It wasn't as bad as it had been, but it was bad. Like I was like, "What fire is this?" Like I thought KMP was like done, but I don't know. So then Jackson's like, he feels like shit. I have to probably tell the school that he was having like.
I think Jackson will want to go to
asthma issues. He doesn't want to leave Fancher. I mean, it happens to all of them. Though.
Yeah,
they don't.
Yeah, he's gonna cry.
He'll cry. He will for sure.
I think he'll like it.
I think he'll
feel like a big kid.
I mean,
he might feel like a small kid at first, but then I think he'll feel like a big kid.
Yeah, like he's gonna finally get to ride a bus to school. I know that doesn't sound exciting to most people. Like I rode a bus to school. It wasn't exciting, but our kids, they grew up in a time where almost every single kid lives right there. There's not a bus, like unless you're special needs or like.
And he's gonna meet so many kids. I mean, he's so outgoing. He'll meet so many.
I cannot wait for that. His teacher so cute. Well, his teacher is. Oh my gosh. Obviously, I'm in love with her. Like, hello, but she said, he's very. The kids look up to him and I go, they do? She's like, yeah, like they look to him for like direction. Like if they want to know
she's how they physically.
Yeah, definitely not physically. But if they're looking for like, how should we be doing something? What should we be doing? They look to him. And I was like, he does? Because remember the bully situation?
Yeah.
Because I brought that up. She's like, oh, that's a whole other situation. Aside from that, he's way different. But I just look at Jackson as when all that bullying stuff was happening, and I'm like, this is why I had you do TK, because I want you to be like, I didn't want you to be the youngest kid, and I want you to be strong, and I want you to stand up for yourself. And she's like, oh, he'll stand up for himself. But standing up to him is a whole nother story, because that kid's like a monster.
So backtrack a little bit for our listeners. So Jax was having issues with a kid at school who was bullying him.
Who's actually one of his closest friends. He's been friends with him.
Which to me, I was like, homie, you need to meet some new friends.
Exactly. Which is why I'm so excited for junior high.
Because he's not a friend. There's obviously an issue that he feels like he can pick on him.
Yeah.
And put him down. And like we tell our adult listeners, I mean, same thing with our kids. Get out of a bad relationship.
Yeah.
You know, that is not a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
That's not okay for anyone to treat you bad.
Yes.
So if your friend is treating you bad, that's not your friend.
Right.
Find someone else.
But he was afraid because I'm like, why are you friends with him? Just don't be friends with him. He's afraid he'll beat him up. This kid weighs as much as I do.
The only scary thing about that is they are going to go to the same junior high.
Right.
And this big kid is going to find
other big kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's going to find other bullies.
Yeah. I know. I don't know. And I mean, I know this sounds bad. Yeah. No. Well, and luckily she's been there and she knows him. I mean, so that's good. But it's like, I just look at Jackson as someone who's not wanting to stand up for himself and that kind of thing.
So to hear his teachers.
And then she says that and I'm like, what? Like, he's a leader? Like, she's like, what I want to do is I really want to look for leadership roles for him. And I'm like, what? So obviously I have a very poor, like, idea of what my kid is. He's a sweet boy. He is. And I mean, he's my little lover. Like, he's, and it's hard because he's my baby. And so, but when I found out that stuff was happening, I'm like, okay, go up to him and tell him, like, F you. I mean, don't say F you because you're not allowed to, but say F you. Yeah. You know, it's like, what are you doing? Because I think of it how I think of it. But he's also a kid who's at least a foot shorter than this guy.
You know, it's hard because, like, we didn't go through bullies or anything, but, you know, there's girl stuff that happens. Yeah. There's girl drama.
Yeah.
Girls are mean and girls are very, very mean.
They're very mean.
They're vicious with their words. Boys, for some reason, just want to punch something or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're mean with their words. And Tristan was always such a sweetheart. Mm-hmm. I always was scared that someone was going to break her.
Yeah.
Because she was so sweet. And these girls were so not sweet.
Right.
Like,
oh my gosh. Yes. I know. I remember.
They were rough.
But luckily they didn't.
But she's one to be like, she's got a good heart somewhere deep down inside. After she hates
hormones
me.
Hormones are hiding it, but whatever.
And everything. She will always say everybody's her friend. Like, she'll never say, like, no one's not her friend. Or she'll stick up for the little person. You know, like, she really does. Because she's like, oh, that's not nice. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
She'll treat her mom terrible, but she'll treat other people sweet.
You're not a little person. You're a little person, but you got big personality, big.
So she hates that, I think.
Probably. I mean, maybe since she's so much like her dad, you should ask, like, how would you like me to approach you? Because maybe that's how you need to approach Tristan.
Well, side note, so she starts therapy back Thursday.
Oh, good.
Thank goodness. Yeah. We found someone finally.
Oh,
hopefully she's good. We'll see. I mean, you know, they have to build a relationship. They have to meet and they have to, like, see if there's a connection.
Right.
It's like freaking dating, right?
I know.
But God, insurance is terrible with that. And it's been a nightmare, but we found someone. So
good.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I know. It's hard. Like, that's Hayden. It's like, as soon as I start getting like crazy with him and like, you need to figure stuff out. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing like, I'm just on him because I'm just fed up, right? It's not like just out of nowhere all of a sudden I'm like this. It's like I've been talking to you about these things over and over and over and over. And now it's just I'm to a point where I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do other than scream at you so I don't wring your neck. And we had a really bad day. I think it was Monday. Maybe Thursday or Friday last week. I don't know. It was recent. And like I just went crazy. And then he's like, I think I need to go to therapy this week. Because he does every other week. And I'm like, I'm sick of that. Like, I'm done. You want to go to therapy because now you want to be like, oh, poor me, because you didn't do these things. It's like, I'm done with that.
Yes.
Like, if you want to go to therapy, fine. Message her and see if she can fit you in this week. You can go to therapy. If she can fit you in when I can take you, you can go. But it's like, I feel like he uses that kind of stuff against me.
I think they do. Like, I think a lot of kids do.
And it's so damn annoying. Like,
well, I know we've had this conversation. I
just want my kids to be like me. Okay. How do I get me?
I know. And that sounds like, oh, girls, you're super confident in yourself.
No,
like obviously we don't want our kids to go through what we went through.
No.
We don't want our kids to have these terrible scars that like, that they have to fight. But the thing is that we work so hard at giving them this better life, choosing better families. What the hell is wrong that it's like, I always say this, I'm like, you choose. You are not a victim.
Yes.
You are choosing to be this way. Exactly. So stop acting. What do you have to complain about? You have a great life.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, things aren't perfect. I'm sure that there's issues. I'm sure there's things with their friends.
Right.
I'm sure there's things
I understand that.
Like
I'm not saying like, oh, teenagers. I'm perfect.
No, but here's the thing. I think that, well, and hear me out because I don't want to get canceled on our Instagram.
No, just say it.
But I think that we've kind of mentioned this before in our topics, but I think social media has such a huge and the shit that's put out there for our kids to listen to is complete bullshit. Yeah. And you know what? I think it does make them weak. I really do. Because so I think everyone wants to give everyone a pass.
Yes.
And I think everyone wants to give someone an excuse to say, oh, you feel like this? Yeah. It's because this.
Yeah.
And
that's great. We were all dealing with that back then too. Yeah. And guess what? We didn't get passes. We just had to go on about our day.
Don't tell me that it's okay to feel this way because you had no dad. You had a dad that molested you. You grew up poor. You you couldn't go to regular school. You had to raise your brothers. You know what I mean?
Like if you were to use all that,
then I would.
Oh my gosh, you would be such a different. We wouldn't be friends right now.
Well, no, because
you would be such a different person.
I would probably be on drugs.
You honestly would. You would.
I really would because I'd be trying to.
I'd be trying to on everyone else because it's poor me.
Yeah,
poor me. And it's like, okay, here's the thing with Hayden, and I'm not saying there's not stuff going on at school or whatever.
It's
but
teenage life.
That went on teenage life. Like my mom will be like, "Oh, I remember when you used to cry like over a boyfriend or whatever." And I know that's not necessarily what I'm talking about, but like, "Oh, you used to cry." I don't remember that shit. But it happened, whatever. However, I had, for the most part, there was a year where I really slipped. Okay, I failed A class. That was really slipping. I mean, not anything I didn't make up. I still had a free period when I was a senior. Like, I was fine. Yeah. because I did stuff in advance. But I did my stuff. My mom never had to talk to me about my grades. My mom never had to talk to me about doing my homework. My mom never had to talk to me about getting to the bus on time. I never missed the bus for school. Ever.
Do you ever talk to his therapist?
Here and there, but not a lot. And maybe I need to. But I just feel like I don't know.
So besides yelling, because we all do that. So besides yelling, and getting upset, what are like his rewards or consequences? And
you don't get your stuff taken away. And the hard thing with him is that if I take his stuff away, he wants it, but not bad enough to do his homework. Like,
is he still not doing electronics through the week?
No, we failed at that. We really failed at that.
Does he? I've heard him call you though and say, "I did these things. Can I have my Xbox back or whatever?"
Yeah.
Like,
but it's like,
but if you take it away, like completely take it away, does he
like
start to
this
change?
Close to being at that point. No, if I take everything away from him, if he has nothing, it will take him weeks to do stuff.
So, is there a like I had to learn early on with Tristan? She's better on positive reinforcements, which to me, I get like I get like cringy on, right? Like it makes me like, why do I have to freaking reward you for doing what you should do? For doing what you should do.
You should just do it. Oh, thank you. That's exactly how I feel.
It drives me crazy. But I could take and take and take.
That's exactly how he is.
But
that's why they butt heads.
Yeah.
Because they're the same freaking kid.
Yeah.
Except my kid's like completely fine with being a failure.
But she, I mean, I think it's that they're stubborn too.
Yeah.
Very stubborn.
It is. And that's why if I take all of his stuff, it'll take him weeks because I feel like he's at the point where he's like, well, fuck you. Like, whatever. Like, take my stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes me want to smack him.
Yeah.
I don't abuse my kids, but I want to smack him hard. With something hard. I'm just saying, I am so frustrated with it, and I feel like it's hard because with schedules and things, like, I'm not there, like if I was there when he needed to leave the house, it'd be different. Or if I'm there when he gets home, it'd be different, but I'm not. Yeah. And that's part of the issue.
And neither is Jason.
Exactly. And I feel like the boys are taking advantage of that. And it frustrates me because we work the jobs we work to give them everything they have.
I agree.
And it makes me angry.
Yeah.
No, that's why I feel like a failure.
But that's not you being a failure.
I feel like if I was maybe a different kind of parent, maybe I was more stern and consistent. If I was more structured,
I do think that probably it's the consistency of like not giving in to their stuff.
Because sometimes I do give in because it's just easier for me. I know, bad parenting, but
it's life. I
like to go out and have fun, and so fine, I'll let you. I know I'm a horrible person.
No, you're not a horrible person.
I feel like I am. I feel
it's life. We do it with all of our kids. It's like at some point you're like, Danny's supposed to be going straight back to her bed, and there are nights where I'm just like, just pop in.
Yeah,
and then I'm like this, Tony, go put her back in her bed.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. But you're a much better parent than I am.
No, I'm not. You need to stop with that.
Okay.
I am not. I am not. My kid is in therapy.
Mine is too.
My other kid like hits other kids. She's mean. She's trying to sidekick her sister.
Well,
She's a little monster.
my kid just had to go through like a whole positivity.
I only have
project
one
thing.
that says her prayers before dinner every single night. We're going to take a break.
Okay.
We'll be back.
All right.
And we're going to talk about you not being a bad parent.
Ugh.
You're normal. Hey guys, we're back. We're here.
Sorry, I just washed my hands and I was like, for a moment I thought you had like done something with essential oils because it's lavender, right?
Oh, is that one lavender?
I don't know. I think it is. Is that not?
Oh, it smells like it. Yeah.
Well, so I was like, I had my hand here and I thought, oh, she's setting the mood, trying to calm me down after all that. Dang.
I know. Well, you do need to be calmed down because I'm going to
I
tell you this
know.
right now. Seriously, you are not a bad mother. You are not a bad mother. If you were a bad mother, well, I would say we wouldn't be friends, but we have some questionable
yeah
moments with some of our friends.
Yeah.
But you're not a bad mother. I think that our kids in general can make us feel like we're bad parents, and not because they're trying, but because we have this expectation within ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're not meeting it.
Yeah.
So then we're a fucked up parent.
You're 100% correct, because when I'm like this, like, okay, so this isn't happening, but I know if I did things differently, it probably would. And so I'm not doing what I know I need to do. And so then I just feel like, well, I'm shitty, right? Like, because then it's my fault. I'm not doing what, I don't know. That's the way I take it.
I feel like everything good in life is hard work.
It is.
And that includes being a good parent. And here's the thing. You can be the best parent, Ashley. You could be on top of it. You could be this. You could be that. You could be all the wonderful things. It doesn't change your kid's personality.
Yeah.
And it sometimes doesn't change the outcome.
Yeah.
It's not to say it will or it won't, but there's a good chance that your kid is just the personality that he is. You have to adapt and you have to figure that out as a parent. I'm trying. I mean, it's hard. It is hard. Teenage years. Oh my gosh. They are exhausting. And I feel like sometimes the best thing is for me to back off because I'm like that. I'm the little gnat.
He told me that.
Away, right?
Yeah.
But if I back off,
are you going to do it?
Are you going to do it? And are we ever going to talk?
Right.
Like, sometimes I feel like the only conversations we have is because I have something to say to you.
Know.
Except what I say to you is not always
positive.
Yeah.
I feel like 90% of my day is trying to get the boys to do what they need to do, what needs to be done. I'm nagging them. I'm complaining to them. I feel like that's the majority of my day throughout the week. Like, my days off are a little different. I'm not as stressed. There's not as much going on. But I feel like 90% of my time, Monday through Thursday, I am focused on the boys. Like, and not in a good way. It's like focused in a negative way. And Hayden told me, because I said, you have by this date to get everything taken care of. Like, if it's not taken care of, you're done. Like, your phone's taken. I don't know what needs to happen. And I've told him before, like, what do I need to do? I don't understand what needs to happen
right
in order to get you to do this, because I'm at a loss. Like, aside from beating your ass, I
Have
don't
you-
know what I need to do.
Have you ever, and I only ask this because I've thought about this within my own self. I mean, I think doing part of this podcast and having the friends that I have and having you and talking through things is super helpful. And like my husband always says, it's cheaper than therapy.
Yeah.
But
I know.
but at the same time, I have really considered doing, I mean, she needs her own therapy by herself, but I have also considered doing therapy together with her.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that with
So his therapist has called me in, and we've had like
yes, and I've done that
conversations
too.
with the two, and it
Yes.
is very helpful.
I think so
because
too.
like she's told me, blah blah blah, blah and asked him like
gives
blah,
you a
blah,
different like
yeah, and I'm like, okay, I will try to change those things.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
I need you to try also.
Yeah.
Because, and she does always point out, like, okay, like, you don't like that your mom yells at you all the time. Why is she yelling at you?
Yeah.
Is she just yelling at you because she asked you, like, this is her first time asking you, or are you not doing what you're supposed to? Of course he's not doing what he's supposed to. That's
Right.
what it always is.
Right.
And so I'm like, I will try not to yell. And it did somewhat help, but then at the same time, it's like, then everything starts piling on top, and I can't help it because I'm like a freaking volcano, and there's a boiling point and I'm done. And I feel like, okay, I don't know if you've ever like watched these shows. I think maybe I've caught clips where the kids have to go to like juvie or whatever, right? Okay, so the kids have to go to this camp where they're like treated like shit. Like, if you continue on this path, this is where you're gonna be, and they're like living like a juvie life and stuff like that. Have you ever seen those?
No.
Oh my gosh, I don't know, but it's basically like, get your act together, right? Like, this is where you're headed. If you don't want to be here, then you need to straighten up. I feel like I need one of those for my kid. I mean, I don't think he's headed to juvie, but I feel like
I know you don't like to hear this because I know what like the future means for that. Like, as far like I get it, but some of the best kids I've seen in high school are in the ROTC.
I can't. I am too scared that my kid would want to do it.
No, but they're such good kids.
And I don't want anyone to think like, I feel like by saying that I'm unpatriotic. I do. And I'm not. I support the military, and we have so many family members that are in the military. And
it's crazy.
Those are your babies.
They're your babies, of course.
I know, but
of course.
That's exactly where I'm at. I'm like,
no.
I don't want him to want to do it. And I'm scared that if he started doing it,
I'm scared that I'm scared. I shouldn't even say that. I'm only telling you because I feel like he's the kind of kid that really needs structure.
He does. His therapist told me that like 5 years ago.
Like 100% structure, no wavering.
And it's hard because I'm not that person. Like, I'm not a good fit for his needs.
Yeah.
Which also makes me feel like a shitty parent.
I can see that. I can see
that.
But
it's like, I've had 37 years on this earth, and it's hard to change that.
Of course.
And
it's worked for you.
It doesn't really work for me.
I mean, it has though.
I've survived.
No, but you're not like, you've made a good life for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's worked for you.
I mean, psychologically, I'm probably not okay. But, I mean, I have a very decent job.
I don't know if any of us are.
You know what? You're probably right. And maybe that is something I need to consider. So, earlier you were talking about, like, our kids have had such an easy life. Like, obviously, we don't want them to have to go through stuff that we went through. And I was thinking of a quote that I heard today, and I had to look it up. I hope I'm right about who said it. Michael Hopf. I don't know how to say it. Hopf.
Okay.
G. Michael Hopf. Whatever. Anywho, it's hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. I feel like that is 100% correct at where we're at in society.
Yes.
And where I'm at with my child.
Yeah.
Like my
I feel that way even about my teenage girl.
Yeah.
And, you know.
And I just feel like my struggles with feeling like a bad parent and not doing what needs to be done and what in the heck is wrong with you. I feel like it's a mini version of the way society is. Like society right now feels so effed up. Like everything seems wonky. Everyone's canceling everyone. No one can say anything. Everyone's so sensitive and crybabies. And I'm not going to say the word, but I think you're all a bunch of mms. And I feel like my kid's like that too. And that's why I had to tell him, like, fine, if you want to go to therapy.
Bunch of kitty cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop. Just stop. Like.
Grow up here because you know what? We all have shit.
Yes.
Everyone has shit. No one is perfect. Exactly. No one's life's been perfect. And you know what? If it is perfect, it sure shit isn't going to be in the future.
No, it's not. It's like.
Because eventually life fucking happens.
Right.
To everyone.
It does.
Some are worse than others.
Yeah.
And you know what? So I literally just had this conversation on Sunday. I said, someone was saying, oh, you know, I asked how someone else was doing, and they said, oh, it's, you know, they're fine and everything. And they said, you know, this person made a comment saying, oh, you know, well, they feel very experienced in life. And they said someone else isn't very experienced in life. And I said, you know what? There's people that grow up blessed.
Yeah.
They grew up blessed because they grew up with two parents.
Yeah.
They grew up blessed because maybe they didn't have to work as hard because what they had to work at was just school and their education.
Yes.
Those are blessings.
Yeah.
Maybe they only had to focus on themselves and bettering themselves, not bettering their entire family.
Right.
Those are blessings. It doesn't make them any less of a person.
Right.
Than someone who grew up on the streets.
Exactly.
But life happens to everybody
at
some point.
Yeah.
And it's how you maneuver and it's what you do with it.
Right.
That makes you the person that you are.
Yeah.
So I can't knock someone for having a blessed life because that's the life that obviously we all try to create for our own children.
Yeah. It is.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not going to knock that. And I'm not going to knock the person that's coming from like the bottom up.
Exactly.
But it's all about what you do with yourself.
Yes.
And it's hard to sit and watch our children act like there's an excuse for why they don't, or, well, things are so hard. No, things are not so fucking hard.
Yeah.
I'll give you hard.
Exactly.
You want hard?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there have been moments I have literally said to my daughter, really? How do you think you would feel? You've never had to sleep one night in your bed thinking that someone was going to come into your room.
Yeah.
And hurt you.
Yeah.
Not once in your whole life.
Right.
You think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Not just me, many other girls.
Absolutely.
Many other boys.
Yeah.
So you thank God that you can go to sleep in peace in your bed.
Yeah.
And no one is going to come in your room and hurt you.
Yeah.
That's a gift. That's a blessing.
It is. It really is.
So it's things like that I feel like we understand it.
Exactly.
And I feel like for the most part, our generation does.
I agree.
And this generation, it's like, I
feel
like it's, no.
Like their hardship is like, oh, you didn't want me to wear this, or, you know, something like that.
Well, I don't even know who I am.
Good.
Yeah.
None of us knew who we were when we were your age.
You're
That's
fucking
why you
16.
grow up.
Hello.
It's all a part of it.
Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
I still want to figure out who I want to be when I grow up, okay?
Shoot, I know. If only, right? But you're 100% correct. They've not had the struggles that we had, and thank God. And
Thank God, but yes.
I mean, Hayden was talking to me, and he says he has a friend who was sexually abused, and that he feels, he's like, I feel so bad for her, like she cries a lot, and like it's been recent, like a year. And I said, it's hard, I said, but there will come a point in life, and hopefully she's able to get past it, and she's able to be stronger because of it. And I said, not that I'm like, oh, I'm thankful that this happened to me. Like, of course I'd rather it not happen to me.
Of course, yes.
But there's also this part of me where it allows me to understand things that people that didn't go through it don't understand. And I do feel like it made me stronger. And I am thankful to be a strong person, I mean, I don't appreciate what I had to deal with to get there, but there are silver linings, and I said, I know it's been recent for her, but I hope that she's able to get there, because you can be a stronger person because of it. It doesn't mean you have to be in, like, curl into a ball and your life's over.
Right. Right.
And that's what it's like. I mean, I don't want my kids to have these struggles, but at the same time, I feel like there needs to be something, right? Because otherwise, do they know, how do they become strong?
So it's so funny because, we have breakthrough moments. And like I said, she's going to start therapy on Thursday, so maybe this will help. But she was talking about, like, work the other day. And she's like, so-and-so and so-and-so. And she talks about her coworkers. And she's like, they're making me do this and this and this and this. And I see, like, she's outside of just her normal friends.
Yes.
Which obviously, as a parent, I know. I look back, and when I was in high school and I was working at a place where kids were in college and paper and everything, I'm like, oh God, please, nobody corrupt her little mind.
At the same time, too, I think our kids are so different.
At the same time, I'm also like, God, talk to anyone else besides just the little box that you put yourself in.
Yes.
So it's okay.
Please get experience.
Get experience. And no, people are cool, no matter what they are, no matter what they look like, no matter who, how old they are or whatever. And just enjoy and appreciate other people.
Yeah.
And she's been at her job now for 5 months. And I see, like, these changes in her. And growth. I'm like, it's growth. It's growth. And I'm like, this is good. Like, this is.
Yeah.
And it's nice to hear other names. And it's nice to hear, like, that she's outside of her comfort zone a little.
And enjoying it.
And she's having fun with it.
Yeah.
And they're chit-chatting back and forth. And it's like, it's just fun, it's all in good fun. And there's breakthrough moments like that I, like, hold on to. But I mean, these times are tough right now. I think, number one, we have teenagers.
Oh, gosh.
Number two, I have a teenage daughter.
That's horrific.
I mean, thank goodness she's not trying to, like, sneak out the window in a mini skirt and
that's
hit the
hard thing, is that
I mean?
we think these things, like, well, thank God they're not doing that. And it's like,
but at the same time, like, okay, you also can't be on my couch at, like, 35 years old. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta build you. We gotta build a strong person.
Yes.
Our job is to make strong people of God, people of this world that can that can be members of our society.
Contribute to society.
Yes.
Be strong people. Do not leech off of society,
Yes.
please.
Yes, let's be good, strong people.
Yeah.
I always prayed for my daughter to be a leader, not a follower.
Yes.
You know, still pray for that.
Yes.
But I think that it's hard. And I tell people when people are like, oh, I have, I kids and whatever. I'm like, get it. Right now I'm going through teenage.
I know. I don't know how you do it.
And toddler. So imagine having Hayden and Jackson and John full time. You know what I mean?
No,
like, it's
like the girls' age difference from the boys was hard enough because, it's just, they don't like the same things and that type of thing. But the boys were very easy when the girls were struggling with stuff. It wasn't like, because it was more like the boys are like 7 and whatnot, and the girls are teenager. You know what I mean? And at 7, they're easier.
Yeah.
They understand more. They're more well behaved because they're not like testing the boundaries as much. It's a lot different. And so you're doing like terrible twos and like I'm starting preschool and things like that and a teenager.
I didn't get the 3-major like conversation until probably the last 2 months where I'm like, oh, I get it. You're a mini 16-year-old because you are all of a sudden full of all of these emotions.
Yeah.
And now I got to talk you down.
And your sister down. Awesome. Yeah.
And meanwhile, who the hell's telling me to calm down?
Yeah. And then on the other hand, Danny's trying to abuse both of them, I'm sure.
Yeah. And she's trying to jump off of anything high that she can find.
She gives me heart attacks.
I mean, it's like, I tell people, I'm like, well, I don't sleep because of little ones. And then my mind is racing and my blood pressure is through the roof because of the big one. So I work out a lot to try to like find stability. And I had a laugh because I thought that was the funniest conversation when we were at that baby shower a couple weeks ago. And someone was pregnant there and she was like, hey, she said something. She's like, you said something about working out. And she goes, what do you, or I don't know, maybe she said something like, you have 3 kids. What the hell? And I said, I said, I work out a lot. I work out a lot because it's like that's my mental place. She goes, they have pills for that, right?
Don't do the pills.
And I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. I was like, no, but seriously, I really try to because I have to do something because it is a lot,
And I know that would help me. I'm just lazy as, I know.
But everyone has to find their own chi. Their own chi.
I wish that I could find that. I feel like maybe it's just in an alcohol bottle or something.
Maybe you need to do yoga.
Maybe.
You can do yoga. Oh.
Maybe I should start yoga with my boys because both of my boys need some help too. I'm not joking. Like, Jackson is so sweet and lovey, but he's also like, all of his rage pents up and he's like, I feel like he's like the Hulk. Like, he shuts down and he's so angry and so like, and I'm like, oh, good night. You're going to murder us. I don't know. Like, he does not know. He bottles it and he does not know how to let it out. Maybe if he did yoga, he could get some of it out. I don't know.
One of my brothers who is very active and very like into very masculine things. He like took to yoga maybe about a year ago or so. He was talking about it because one of his cousins is an instructor and stuff. And so he's like, I started doing yoga and it's actually pretty good. I'm like, yeah. And you need to calm the fuck down. So go ahead and keep doing it,
Yeah, I need to too.
But sometimes good stretches and things. It's just
Yeah.
good for your mind and
I mean,
mental
athletes
state.
do it.
Yeah.
Like football players.
Oh,
that do
and then
it,
you need that like flexibility in your body. And honestly, like the downtime, I am very so love my husband to death. Very hands-on dad. I will never complain about him not being a hands-on dad.
Right.
Do I like all of his approaches?
No.
Absolutely not.
He needs yoga too. He
Oh.
might need to go to yoga.
He for sure needs yoga. Somehow, crazy old me has
I
more
know.
patience with the kids than he does.
I know.
You know, and he's like Mr. Calm. Everyone thinks I'm the crazy person,
Yeah.
and he's the calm one.
I know, it's so funny. It really is. It's hilarious that as he became like a father to little ones like that.
Which
and
it's
different
kind
when
of
you have
knew.
stepchildren and you have like because
Yes.
you're like your comfort level of
But
how
I
hard
kind
to
of
be
knew.
with them.
So my husband, kind of backstory real quick, like quick. He was going to school at Cal Poly, and his sister called, and basically her husband passed away suddenly, terrible accident, and he wasn't doing great in school because he was getting away with like crap, and just getting like doing dumb stuff. And she's like, move back to Fresno, come to Fresno State, whatever, live with me. She had a daughter. Like I said, she had just lost her husband. She was still young. So he comes back, he moves in, and he was not very patient with his niece. So I knew little kids weren't like his jam.
Yeah.
Like it was going to be hard, and it is hard for him.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, hey, like take a time
They're
out.
not adults.
Take a time out. They don't fucking understand. Like they cannot comprehend your reasoning. Yeah. Because their minds are not your mind. Okay. They are babies. Yeah. They're 2 and 3. 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Yeah. I know our 3-year-old acts like she's 16, but she's not. Yeah. She's not. So I don't know. It's just I feel like the littles are a lot, but teens are a lot. And you have to find your center. However, you have to find it. You as a mom, you need to find your center. Part of the problem is that you haven't found it. Yeah. You have to work on you.
100% agree with that.
You need to work on you so that you can help your kids.
I know. I absolutely agree with that. I'm very aware of that.
And I've told my husband, I'm like, hey, watching a show or a movie until bedtime is not okay. Yeah. Turn it off. Yeah. Read a book. Quiet time. Lights down.
I get obsessive with stuff too, though.
You know.
Never working out. Only food and like TV and stuff like that. I know. It's disgusting. That's the kind of person I am. A disgusting failure.
You're so stupid. Stop.
No. That's how I feel, though, because that's how I
That
feel.
is normal, though.
Why does it have to be that way, though? I feel like up until the last 2 years, I didn't struggle. Like, there were times like, when Hayden started having to go to therapy.
Teenagers.
It's stupid. It's so dumb. And when you get you have a little kid and they're like, nobody gave you a manual. No one gave you a manual at the hospital. No, someone needs to give you a manual now.
Hell yeah.
You don't need it when they're that little.
Yeah, they'll survive. They're fine.
Change a diaper. Yep. Blah.
Yep.
That's whatever.
Yeah.
Even, feed them some macaroni and cheese when they're 5 and put them to bed.
Yeah.
Give them a
People
shower,
are like,
whatever.
oh, you have 2 toddlers? That's so difficult. No. You do 2 toddlers with a teenager.
No.
That shit's terrible.
I could never.
Those teens. It's the teens. And I was just talking to a group of women last Thursday. They were awesome. I was sharing my battles with my teenage daughter. And one of them has all girls. Another one has a girl and a boy. And another one has a boy. But the ones with the girls, they go, And one of them is a little bit older than I am. And she said her girls are grown now. And she goes, I promise one day you won't be stupid. One day you'll actually be smart. And I'm like, I can't wait for that day.
I can't wait.
I just hope I live to see it, because now
it feels like it's not happening.
It feels like it's not happening.
Feels like it will never happen, and I'm going to be done before then.
So everyone, thank you for listening to our therapy session today.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for swapping with us. We have survived one more day with our crazy kids.
One more.
We'll see how tomorrow goes. Okay. Thank you so much. Segment music by Callie Grace. For more of Callie Grace's hits, follow Callie Grace on iTunes and Spotify today.